Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are going to create front end of our to-do app. So I recommend everyone to watch our part 1 video which is where we are creating our front end of back end of our to-do app. So please watch this video. Just visit to this channel and here you can see the part 1 of the video. And so before we start, please subscribe to my channel and like this video and share with your friends. So let's start. So we are going to use Next.js for our front end. Next.js is a React framework for the web, and for styling purpose we are going to use Tailwind CSS. So this is the document of Tailwind CSS with Next.js. So I am going to follow this. I will provide this link in the description, so from there you can see or you can follow with me. So let's go to our editor, and here let me open my terminal and let's create our project. So npx, so this is one second. So npx create app @latest, and here we will give our project name. So I am going to give like to do app frontend and just press enter. And here asking okay to proceed, so yes. Now would you like, here is some asking question like would you like to use TypeScript, so just yes. And yes lint we needed, so yes. Tailwind CSS yes. And no. App route yes. Turbo pack yes. And this one is no. That's it. So just enter, and what you like you can choose from there. Okay, so installation is done. You can see we got message like success, and here you can see it created a new folder called to do app frontend, and inside this these are the folder structure. So let's start creating our frontend. Before that, let me run this. So to run Next.js project, we need to first move to the directory which we have created, that is to do app frontend, and inside that we will type npm run dev to run our application. So you can see it is running on port number 3001. So let's go to our browser, and here I will type 3000 localhost 3001 and just enter. So you can see this is our Next.js project which is running properly. So let's go to our editor. Yeah. So before we start doing anything, let's change our default theme. So I have some default theme. Let me grab those, and so yeah, so I have copied and here I am pasting it. So you can pause this video here, and you can also means type with follow this in your project, or I will provide in the description the GitHub source link, so from there you can copy it. So next is let's go to our front end app. So this is our to do app. So let's start building with first building with the navigation, then we will start other part. So let's go to our terminal, sorry, editor, and here let me first remove all the default text which is created. So let's go to our page, and here just simply remove everything and create a new component called home and just save it. And now you can see we everything is removed, and here you can see only home which is written here. If I write here anything else like home something, then you can see it is reflecting here. So our setup is running properly. Now let's start creating our home page. So in the home page we need a top navigation bar. So to create that, let's create a component folder here. So in the main root of this folder, create another folder which is called components, and inside that we will create a file called navbar.tsx, and simply create a component with name a navbar and just save it. Now in Next.js we can also manage our pages in a folder. So let's go to our app, and here we will create a folder with within the parenthesis we will write our folder name like main, and simply, so why we write like in the bracket is like, if we write something without this parenthesis, then it Next.js consider it as a router router path, but if we use parenthesis, then it will consider as normal folder. So inside this folder we will drag and drop this page.tsx in it, and now if I refresh this page, you can see nothing has changed. So inside this we will create another layout folder which is same as the root folder. So you can see here, this is our root folder. This will root layout. This will be applied to all the pages, but when we define in the main folder like layout.tsx, then this layout will be applied only for the pages which are in the main. So let's create. So I will give this name as main layout, and inside this we will add children, and children is of type react node, and we will pass here, and I simply remove this our main text. Now you can see it is gone. So let's create our navigation and add it. So we need navigation, so I will add here in the main layout. We have already created navbar, so this navbar is already we have created, so I simply import the navbar here at the top of the children, and when I save it, you can see we have here navbar. So let's start creating our navbar first. So just simply click on this navbar component by pressing Ctrl and click on the right click on the mouse. So now we are in the navbar. So let's create our navbar first. So as you see here, we have a navbar with a black box, and inside that we have text and this button. So let's create it. So first what we will do, so simply, okay, let me open this so we can see what we are doing. So here we will rename this as a nav, and we will give a class name with a height of 230 pixel, and at the in the small devices it will be 230 pixel, and for more than the medium devices it will be of height of 280 pixel. Currently we cannot see anything, but further let's add another div which has a class name relative, and it has an height of 150 pixel in the small devices, and in the medium devices it will be of 200 pixel. And let me give color which is bg primary. So this primary is a color which we have uh, here we have provided, like color primary is this one. So when I save it, and let's go to our navbar, currently also we cannot see it because there is no text inside this div. So let me add another div here, and inside that let me add a link tag. So we need to import it from the next link. So you can see here we have imported it, and inside this it takes an href which is slash and inside the link we need an image. So currently I don't have image, so just I simply use this span tags, and you can see we have an home. So let's go to our, yeah. So let me give you a class name which is flex item center and justify center and height is full. Now let me refresh this page. Okay. So yeah, so our text is at the center. So let me here with this text, let me replace with our like to do app text. So I will keep it in a paragraph tag, and here text will be to do app. Your app will be in the span tag because as you can see here, this to do has different color and app has different color. Further, for that purpose we have kept in a span tag, and simply I will change the text color now here with our secondary color, and font is bold, and along with that we have, okay, so we don't need it here to provide it. We can, for the link which is our parent to this paragraph tag, in that we can provide the color. So text color is secondary, and font is bold, and item to be flex item center, or we use the baseline to level up the text. And along with this we have something like justify center and gap is 3. So currently we cannot see anything because we don't have image. So let me grab the image, and so I will provide these images um, in the GitHub repository, so you can have it from there. So simply I will copy it, and we need to place the images in our public folder. So you can see here in the asset we have image called logo. So simply what we will do here, we will import image from next image, and it takes source which is our logo. So simply type your logo. So we are importing logo because in the asset folder we created index.js, where we are importing our logo and exporting it, and simply we are using it here. So in image we will have the alt which is logo, and we also need to give height is 20 pixel and height width is 20 pixel, height is 20 pixel. So now you can see here is our image. So now you can see both are side to each other because it is because of our justify center. If we remove this, then it will be, so okay, so we haven't provided style to our to do app, that's why. So let me add text size of 40 pixel to our to do app, and in the medium devices it will be of 50 pixel. And let me save it and rerun this. Okay, so there is some issue. Let me check why it is not changing the color and the text. Okay, I find the issue. I haven't saved a home page. That's why we cannot see the text. But now it is working properly. So simply make sure you save all the files. So okay, let's go back to our navbar, and now you can see our navbar with background color is black, and we have text with logo. Let me give some color to our app. So here in the span tag, and give the color which is purple, text color purple. So now you can see it is same as we have here. So let's now add button to our navbar. So to create button, simply first what we have to do is we need to create custom button because we are using this button multiple times. So first let's create a custom button. So in the same component folder, create another file called custom button.tsx, and here create a component by using shortcut key RAFCE. So this is our custom button. So let me import it here. So after this div, create here we will import our custom button. So custom button. So this is the button which we have currently created. You can see here. So let go to our custom button file, and here we will create our custom custom button. So for the here in our old project, the project which we have already created. So when we click on this button, so there will be button can be of two types. So it can be taking the href or simply on click functionality. So for that we need to here create customized button. So simply what I will do is normally but if it is a link, then we will have here href. If it is link, then we have href. And if it is like a button, normal button, then it will having a on click function. And along with that, you can see here we have icon. So after text we have icon, so we need also icon. So we need to create icon type, and also to differentiate whether it is a link or a button. So for that we need to here define type, and by default it will be button. So let me provide all the types. So href will be of string, which is optional. On click is optional, and icon is of react element. So icon will be of react element type, and type will be button, or it can be submit, or it can be reset. So these three types can be. So let me okay. So let me remove this, and now let's create. So inside the fragment component, here we will define like if user provide href, then it should be link. So I simply we need to import it from the next link. So this will be link. Okay. And if the user not provide href, then it is button, normal button tag. Okay. So here we need to provide in the link we have, if user provide href, then it will be here in the href. And if it is a button, then we need on click method. On click will be on click. Okay. And also we need some text here inside the button. So for that what we will do, we also need label. So here add label, and label will be of a string type. And here label is mandatory, so we remove the default what it is called optional question mark which is there, that we have removed it, and simply here put comma. Okay. So let's first create our link, then I will style our button. So here in the link, if a user provide link, then it can be span, and in the span there will be label, and after the span we will have an icon which is of height and width is okay. So let me define first icon. So here class like text will be of a foreground, and text size will be 20 pixel. So 20 pixel text size. Similarly, we will provide to our label, that is text is for foreground and text size is of 16 pixel. And here we are getting error like JSX does not have construct or cell. Okay, so for that, to fix this, what we have to do is we need simply, okay, so let me check why it is getting issue and I will be back soon. Okay, I found the issue. So here we are providing icon, but here what we have done is it is optional, but icons cannot be optional, so we need to remove. So now you can see the error is gone and everything is good. For testing purpose, let's go to here and let me pass href is slash create task and label is create task, create task, and also we need to provide icon. So currently it is empty fragment, but okay, we are getting error. So for the icons we are using react icons. So simply install react icon, npm install react icons and just click enter and it will install. So you can see it is installed. So let me close this terminal. Okay, so for the icons here we are using plus. You can see here icon is something like plus. So to to search for the icon, simply here in the new tab search for react icons and this github react icons dot github.io. Just open this one and you can see here this is the page or website of react icons where you can search icons. So if I need add icons, so simply type add and you will be seeing here many icons which are required, so we can use which we needed. So I simply use this one. Just when we click on this, it will open this one. Just copy this component and simply paste it here and we need to import it. So just import it. So you can see it is imported from react/io and everything is working good. Okay, so let me check why it is showing an error. So here we are getting, did you accidentally export JSX literals? So okay, let me go back to our custom button and let's check why it is why we are getting. Okay, so as we are here, when we see here, icon is of React element type, so we don't need to import it as a component. Simply we will pass the component. So now you can see when I refresh it, here you can see it is added. Currently we cannot see it, but it is here. So now we are in our custom button component and now let's add some style to our this link and the button so that we can see here. So as we know that both the button and the link are same, so simply we will add the comment style. So here we will create a variable called const button styles and inside this we will add all the styles which are required. So width will be full and padding, vertical padding will be of 10 pixel and cursor is pointer, cursor cursor so cursor is pointer and flex items center and we have justify center, item center, justify center, gap is 2 and background is, let me remove and simply Let me save and pass this style to our link. Here is a button style, and same we will provide it to our button. And let me refresh it again. So we cannot see anything here, but our text is here. Okay, so we haven't provided any color, so let me provide color. So color is bg of secondary. So now you can see our text, our button background color is appear. So let me add some style more. So these are the styles which we are going to use. So I sim 1 second. Okay, so these are the styles which we are going to apply. So let me wrap this text, and now you can see we added with full vertical padding 10 pixel, cursor pointer, flex, item center, justify center, and gap 2, and mx is auto, and round is we are using some rounded corner in the button, and background is of 80% of button background, and these are the some styles which we are implementing. So now let make this to be look something like this. Like you can see here, this is our background, and our button is half of the button is on the background. So let's do that. So let's go and add some more styles to our. So here you can see we didn't pass our button type. So here simply we will add here into the button equal to type, and now it is done. Now let's go to our navbar and let's add some style to it. So here you can see currently we have added our images and the title of our navbar. Then we have added our custom button. Now to make it like to make it absolute to this our background, simply we need to wrap this into another div, and this div will contain style called absolute. So when we make it absolute, now you can see our the button is shrinked, and now we need to provide some width to it. So width is now width will be of min. So we are calculating the width. So minimum width will be of 90% in the small devices, and in the large devices it will be of 736 pixel, and here we don't need space. Now you can see when I make it small, then it is 90%, but when it is more than the small devices, then it is of 736 pixel. Okay, let me center this. So let me center our button. So for that, what we will do, we will add left of 1 by 2. So from the left we added 50%, and we will transform minus transform translate x with 1 by 2 per 50% we are translating in the direction in the negative direction. So now you can see it is in the center. Now just we need to lift it up, so it will be same as this. So let to do that we need to just add bottom. So minus bottom, and bottom will be of something called 25 pixel. So now you can see it is aligned with aligned as we required. But here you can see it has a transparent background, and it is happening due to the transparency which we have provided in our custom button. So let's go to our button, and here is the button. If I remove that, now it is solid. Okay, so let's go to our nav bar, and here what we will do, we need more styles like transform and flex, justify, center. So now when I now in the full screen you can see our button is at the proper place. But which you can see here when I am hovering over it, color is changing. So to implement that, we in the custom button here we need 80%. Currently it is like an transparent, but when we add background color to our home page, then it will be fine. So let's go to our here in the home page, and here if we add background color, okay, not the home page, let's go to our layout, main layout page, and for this we will add background color bg of primary. Okay, so let me check what is the color. So let's go to our global, and here okay, background. So simply here we will add bg background and save it, and height will be, and min height will be screen. So now you can see it is looking good. So our navigation is done, so everything is looking good. Only difference is we need to add our this task and these cards. So before that we need to more customize our navbar. As you can see here, so when we are on the home page it is appearing, but when we go to our, so simply when I click on this, so okay, it is gone. We need create page. So let's first create our create page. So in the app, in the main, create another folder called create task, and inside this create page.tsx, and here simply create component called create task and save it. So now you can see here in the create task also we can see our create task button, but we don't need it. So to remove that, what we can do is we can customize our navbar this button by using our path name. So let's use our path name. So const path name is equal to use path name. So this is provided by Nextjs, and we are importing from next navigation, and simply use it. And after this what we will do, we will remove this, and we will here we will handle if path name is equal to slash, then only we need to show this button. Other than this path do not show. So let me save this, and as we are using here use path name hook, so we need to here use as use client. That's the error is saying. So if I remove this and save, then here you can see when I scroll down, okay, so you can see here you are importing component that need use path name, and this React hook only uses the client component. To fix it we need to use client. That's why. So whenever we use like use path name or the any other hook which uses state management, then we need to use this we need to provide this at the top. So now you can see in the create task we cannot see the button, but when we go back to our home page then we can see. So our navigation bar is done successfully. Okay, so let's move further and create other components. Like you can see here we have task completed it and these cards, task cards. So let's create. So for that we need to go to our home page, which is in our main, and here we will create our task and the other cards. So let's create another component which is called task status, and this card status task status will take two things, title and count, and these two will be of type string. Count will be also of type string, and this component will return a div a div with the h2 tag which contains our title, and after that title we have a p tag which contains count. So to use this, simply what we will do, here at the top remove this home something, and inside that we will use it. So before using this we need to add some styles, so let me add. So what we will do, for the first div, let's add class name which is containing the width of min of 90%, and in the larger devices it will be of 736 pixel, and to make it center we use mx auto, and from the top it having the margin of 4, and flex column and gap is of 5, and save it. And inside this div we will add another div. One second. So inside this div we will add another div which contain the class name called flex item center justify between, and border is at the bottom we will add border. So you can see here this is our task status, and at the bottom we have border. So that's the thing what we have done, you can see here. And we will change the color of border to light gray, and we will add bottom padding of 6, that is of 24 pixel. So you can see it is here, it appears. Now inside this div we will add our task bar, task status just now which we have created, and we will pass here title. Here in the title we have task, and count will be, currently it is a static one, is 2. And inside this we will have another task status which is completed, and count is something will be count will be like 1 of uh, 1 of 2. So now you can see here it is appearing here, but style is, we haven't done any style to it, so it is currently not looking good. So let's add some style. So here at the bottom the taskbar which we have created, for the first div we will add class called flex to make them to come in one row. So if I save, then you can see they are in the same line. Now to have some gap in between them, we will add some gap of 3 and item center. Now for the h1 for the h2 tag we will add some styles, customizable styles we will add. So let me use the templates. So here what we will do, if count value is more than this thing. Okay, so this is the count related. So here let's add our style to our count. So class name, inside this we will make sure that if count dot length value is greater than 2, means if it has more than 2 digit number, then what we will do, here we will make it width is full and px is 2. If not, here width will be of 7. So here for this we are fixing the width, and for completed we are making like width is full and px is 2. Now let's add other styles. So here height will be of h5, and BG is light gray, and we will make the flex items center and justify center and rounded full. So when I save it, you can see the styles which we have just now applied. Similarly, we will add style to our h2 tag, but as you can see here that this title color is different from this title. So to make it dynamic, here we will add class name, which will be of title color variable, and we will define this title color here. So const title color will be is equal to title is, if title name is task, then simply we will add the color of secondary. If not, we will add the color of purple. Now you can see here our task color and the completed color is changed. Now let's check what here. You can see the text color is of white color, but in our case it is black. So let me change the color of the text. So let's go to our root layout, and here, no, not this one. So here for the text color, first we will add the background color. So BG of background and text is of foreground. So now you can see it is applied here. Now let's go back to our home page and let's add more styles. Okay, so we have created our task status. Now let's create this section. So let's go back to our home page, and here you can see we don't have anything. So let's create. So this section appears only when we don't created any task. So let's create this. So below this div we will create another div, and for that div we will add some class called flex column and item center, justify center, and gap between them is 4, and height will be of 300 pixels. And inside this div we will add an icon which is notebook text, and I will add some class to it. So text size will be of 6XL and text color will be light gray, and simply close this component. Now you can see we have our icon. So after this icon we need to add some paragraph text. So let me copy the text which we are using. So let me paste it here and add some class name to it, like text is foreground color is of 50%, and text is center, and font style is semi bold. You can see our text is added here. Similarly, we will add another paragraph which contain the text this one, create task and organize your to do items. For this also we will add some text color. So similarly to about text, here text color foreground is same 50%, and text is center, and margin top is some 2 pixels. Now we are going to create our create task. So simply when we click on create task, then we will redirect to create task page where we have form, which takes input for title and color, and a one button. So let's create this. So let's go to our app folder, and inside the app we have main folder, and inside that we have create task. So inside that we have page.txs. Let's open it, and let's go to our 3000 localhost, and when we click on our create task, we will redirect to here. Now let's add the form and the other section. So what we will do, simply here, as you can see here, we have to do app for create task. So create task contain this form. Same form is present in our edit task. So as this component is reusable, we need to create it as a component. So in the component section, we will create a file called task form and .tsx, and we will create this component here. Let me save and import it here in the create task page. So here I will import task form, and now if we go to our localhost 3000, and you can see here our task form component is appeared. Now let's create it. So let's go to our task, and here we will create this. So to create the styles for this task, simply click on this and you will be here on the task component. So inside this div we have another div, not div, it is a link. We have link which we import from Next/link, and here it will redirect back to our home. So href slash, and here we will have go back. So you can see go back. When we click on this go back, we will redirect back to our home page. But here you can see we have an icon, so we need to replace it with icon. So what we will do, here we will use our React icon. Here icon name is ri arrow left line, and simply import that, save it, and you can see our icon is here. Let's add some style to our main div. So here width is of minimum is 90% and 736 pixel for larger devices. Simply save it, and you can see our icon here. And we have, when we in the full screen also you can see, and when if we click on this icon, we will redirect back to our home page. So it is working properly. Let's add some style to our this icon. So here for the link we will add class name, which is width is fit, cursor is pointer, and group, we are grouping this. So group group, and margin button is 7. And let's add some style to our icon also. So text here is of 2xl, and group hover. So group hover, text color will be of secondary. So now when I hover on this icon, you can see the color of the icon is changing. When I click on that, we will be back to our home page. So it is working properly. Now let's add some transition to our hover effect. So here we will add duration of 200 seconds, and transition is for colors. So now when we hover, you can see smooth animation. Now after this link, we will add another div, and inside that div we will create a form. So simply, and inside this form we will add a div, and this div contain our input form. So as you know, our input form can be reusable. So what we will do, we will create a component for that. So inside the component we will create component called input field .txx, and this input field .txx takes. So first let's create component, and this component will take title placeholder, value, and on change method, and also it takes type, and default it will be of text type. So let me define the type of these parameters. So title is of string type, placeholder is string, value is string, on change is react change event, which is for the input element, and type is of string. So we have created this one. Now let's create this component. So here inside the div we will have label, and this label will take title, and also we will pass here title. Okay, and after this title we will use input tag, and this will be of type, and it contains id, which will be id will be also title. Placeholder will be placeholder, and value is value, and on change is on change. Along with this we need to add class. So border will be all side border, and border color will be light gray, rounded medium, and padding from horizontal padding is of 4, and outline is none. And along with that we have another styles like transitions. So before that let me import this to our task task form component. Here we will import that input field so that we can see what we are doing. So input field and save. This will take task is a task title, title is title, placeholder is enter task title, value is something, currently it is empty, and okay. So everything is working correct. Here we are getting some error like event handlers cannot passes on client. So okay, so for this we need to make this page as use client as we done before, and just save it. So now you can see our title and means our label and our input field. So let's go back to our input field and let's add styles to it. So outline is none, transition color duration is 200, and on focus border color will be secondary. So when I focus on this one, this field border color will be changed. So it is working properly. Also we need to add padding y. So padding y is of 3. So it is good. Now let's add style to our div. So here in the div we will add style called flex column, and gap is of 2. So now you can see it is uh, with the proper style. So when we go back you can see our title color is different, and we also have this thing here at the bottom. So let's add those. And okay, so we have, let me check everything. We have added title. So for the title we need to add color. So here font will be of medium and text color will be of secondary. So now it is done. Let's back to our task form, and here what we will do, as you have seen here we have some number like this will be changed based on the input number of characters in the input field. So let's implement this. So to implement this, what we will do, below the input field we will add a paragraph tag, p tag, and inside this tag we will provide title dot length. So to get this title, what we will do here at the top we will use the use state hook to get the title, and what we will do, we also have handlers. So const handle on change will be event, set title will be value, and here we will pass our value is title and on change handler, on change with handle on change. So now let's see here. So now currently we can see here 0, but when I type here any text, then it will be changed. So let's add some style to our p tag here. So let's here class name will be 1 second. Okay. So here class name, in the class name we will add text is small, margin top is 1 pixel, width is fit, and ml is auto. So this ml auto will push this from left to right, and after this here in after the titles dot length we need to add some text called 100. So 100 means minimum is, maximum we can go with 100 and minimum is 0. So now you can see it is same as here how it looks, but color is different. Let's change the color and add more style to it. So here we need to add transition all, duration 300, and based on the title length of title, like title dot length is more than 100, then we will, if is more than 100, then the color of the text will be red 500. If not, it will be text secondary. So if you can see here currently it is blue in color, but if the text title length is more than 100, then the color of the text will be changed to red. So it is working properly. So we are done with our title. Now let's add our color section. So to add our color section, what we need is we need colors. So for that we will creating another component called color section. So let's create component. So in the components folder, create component name called color selection .txx, and here we will create this component, and simply what we will do, we will import that component into our task. Here at the bottom of this div we will add our color selection component which we just now created, and save it. So let's go to our 3000 localhost, and you can see our color selection is added here. Okay, so what we will do now, let's add some colors. So by default I have selected some colors, so let me add those colors in this section at the top here. So these are the colors which I have selected. You can select any colors as you like, but I have chosen these. Now this color section takes two parameters. First one is selected color, so the color which user selected, and also we have set selected color. So these two methods, these two parameters this component takes. So here let me add the types. So selected color is string type, and here the set selected color is taking the state action. So dispatches the set state action. Okay, now what we will do, let's add the style to our styles for our color selection. So inside this div we will add h2 tag, and this tag contains color as a title. Let's add some style to it. So text color will be secondary, and font will be semi bold, and margin top will be 5. After this h2 tag we will add another div which contain classes called flex item center, gap between them is 3 pixel, margin top is 2, and relative overflow x direction is auto, and scroll auto. Okay, and inside this we will add the colors. So you can see here we are using the colors variable dot mapping through all the list, and we are fetching each color, and inside that we are returning a div with some style. You can see here like width is 4, and the other styles. But here, as you can see here, these are like at the current stage it is light in color, but after that it is, when we are hovering it, color is changing it to light mode to the bright mode. So let me change the style of this. So I have already written some styles, so let me copy and paste that styles. So now you can see when we hover on this text, our color is changing from opacity opacity 50 to opacity 100%. So okay, now what we will do, so when we are clicking here, when we are click on this color, then you can see we are getting error. What we are getting error? Okay, so we haven't passing anything to our this component, so let's pass it first. So here what we will create, use select color state, select color use state, and this will be currently empty. Type will be of string. Let me import this, and also let me remove here from here. Okay, so let's pass this to color selection. So selected color is selected, and set selected color is set selected. Now save it. Now when I click on this, you can see our our color is getting selected, and when I again click on this button, we cannot deselect. So to make it work, let's go to our selection component, and inside this, here on the on click function we need to change. So when we click on, if selected color is equal to color which is already selected, that is hexacode is same, then we will set the selected color empty. If not, we will set the color. So now when we click on this same color, then our selected color will be empty, and when we click again, then it is our selected color is selected. Okay, so now it is working properly. Here you can see we have some gap in between the color and the title, but here they are too close. So what we will do, we will add some style to our here. Okay, so why we got issue, because here we didn't write properly. So margin top dash 2. So now it is applied. Now after this we need to add this button, and you know that we have already created our custom button. So simply what we will do is, let's go to our form, task form, and after this selection, means color selection form, we will add our button. So after this we will create another div, and inside the div we will add our custom button, and this button will takes contain label which is like create task, and save it. And it also contain icon. So in the icon we will pass io add circle outline, and save it. So you can see we have added our button, but their colors and button is so close, so let's add some space in between them. So how we will do, we will add margin top 7 and save it. So now you can see our create task button is created, and in the full screen also it is looking good. When we click on it, it is back to our home page. And when we click on task create task, here we are on the create task page. Okay, so our create task page is done. We will customize this task page in the next session. So welcome back. So in this session what we will do is like we will make task form reusable. As you all know that we are going to use same this page in our edit task page also. So for to make the difference, what we will do here, the task form takes two parameters. First one is the title, no, type, and we have initial data. So let me define the types of these two. So types of these two will be like type will be create or edit, and initial data will be of optional, and this contain types of task props. So I am importing this task props from constants which is in the lib folder. So simply what we have to do is we need to create a lib folder in the root folder, and inside the lib folder I have created constants.tss ts, and inside this I have created this interface with name called task props. So here id is optional, title is required, color is optional, and these three also are optional. So simply save this and import here. So after importing the task prop, what we have to do is, as you know that the title is always required, so here what we will pass in the title section, we will pass our initial data. So here we will pass initial data. So if we have initial data, then from initial data we will fetch the title, and if we don't have initial data, then simply returning the empty string. Similarly we will do here also. In the selected color, if we have initial data with color, then we are getting the color, and if not, it is an empty. So let me refresh this page, and you can see here it is working properly. Now what we need also to change the button, create task button. So let me create edit task folder or the page route so that we can see the difference. So inside the main, create another route called edit task, and inside that we need another folder which takes task id as a params, and inside that we will create page.asx, and here simply we will create component called edit task. Now let's go to our edit task page, just enter. You can see we didn't see anything, because here what we are doing in the edit task, we have an id, then we have page. So, okay, so in edit task we will provide any id. So currently I am provide we can enter anything and simply enter, then we can see this is our edit task. What we will do, I am going to call our task form component which we have recently created, and here in the type I will give as edit. And if we have initial data, I am giving dummy initial data. So you can see this is our dummy initial data. Now let's go back to our task form, and here okay, so in our task form we need to as you can see here in the edit task also, we can see here create task. So to change that, simply what we will do is here we will pass our label name based on the type. So here if type is equal to create, then we will pass as like create task, if not edit task. So now you can see it is changed to edit task. And type, we will provide the type which is of submit. So here this button is acting like a button, not as a link. So for that we are to work as a button, we are providing the type called submit. So if we go back to our create task page, then okay, so here we are able to see edit task. It is because let's go to our create page, and here we didn't provided our types. So simply provide create task. So after providing type is equal to task, now you can see it is changed to create task. And also we need to change one thing, like when we go to our edit task slash some id, then you can see the icon is same as the create task. So we need to change that. So let's go to our task form, and here at the bottom in the custom button, for this icon we need to change based on the type. So if type is equal to create, then it will be then the icon will be this one. And if it is a edit, then icon will be fa check, this icon. So now you can see we are getting tick mark here. And let me change this edit task to save. So now you can see if the user change something or edit anything in the edit task, simply click on save, it will be saved. So it is working properly. Now let's create our handler, on submit form handler. So when we here on the form, we will create on submit handler, that is handle on submit. And let's create this method here. So const handle on submit. And now what we will do, based on the condition, this custom button will work. Like first what we will do is simply we will check whether we have title or not, because in the title, means in this form, in the backend we have implemented that title is must. Because some user, if we remove this text and try to save, we don't, or we don't let the user to save it, because it causes an error, because in the backend we have made it compulsory. So in the front end also we will handle that issue. So if not title, if we don't have title, then simply we will alert that title is required. So now if I click on submit, then we will get pop up like title is required. To look good, we will use toaster. So let me import, or sorry, let me install toaster. So npm install, package name is called, I think package name is react hot toaster, hot toast. Just type this and enter. Now you can see it is added. Let me show you in our package.json, package.json in the front end. So you can see here we have added our, okay, so we are added in the wrong location. Let me move to our directory, to do app frontend, and inside this we need to install react hot toast, and simply press enter. Now you can see it is added here. Now let's go to our, let me delete this terminal and close this terminal. Now let's go back to our task form, and here instead of alerting we can use toaster. So toaster dot success method. As this is an error, so we will use error, and title is required, and simply we will return. Now if I try to click on this, so we cannot see anything because we didn't implement a toaster properly. So to implement that, first what we have to do is we need to go to our home page. So okay, so let me remove this. Just now we have installed in wrong place, that's why we can see this. We don't need these packages and node so I have simply deleted. Now let's go back to our app, and in the app we have layout. So here at the top of the children we need to import toast toast bar from the react hot toast, and here it takes position, which we can make it as bottom center or top center, and I think it is not imported properly. So okay, here the toast is missing position top, but required toast bar props as toast is declared here. Okay, so I think there is some issue with it. Let me find it out why it is not working. So one second. So I think type is missing. So we don't need to use toast bar. We need to use toaster from the React React hot toast. Now it is working properly. So now if I remove this and try to save, then we will get toast like title is required. So okay, it is done. Now let's go back to our task form, and here we will define mode. We will handle other errors. So out here we have added this uh, character count. So if the character count of the title, if title dot length is greater than 100, then we will toast error like task title cannot exceed 100 characters, and simply we will return. So if whenever we will type more than 100 characters and try to save it, then we will get like title cannot exceed 100 characters. So it is working properly. Now after this, now we will handle our APIs. So before that, just simply I will add some conditions like if type is equal to create. So if we are accessing this same button from the create page, then it will toast toast successful that the task is created, and else if task is edited, then we will get message like task is updated successfully. So when I click on this, we getting required, we enter some text and save. So we get the pop-up like task is updated successfully. So it is working properly. Let's go back to our home page, and here when we try to click on the create task, now when I click on here create task, then we will get title is required. We enter some title. Now when I click on create task, we get pop-up like task created successfully. So it is working properly. Let's try to do other things, like here when we are clicking on this icon, we are getting back to our home page, and when we click on the task, we are moving to our create task. So hopefully everything is working properly. So till here this is done. Now what we will do is we will try to connect our backend with our frontend so that we can create tasks and edit them and display those tasks here. Okay, so let's continue and start integrating our backend with our frontend. So before connecting our backend to frontend, let me run our backend. So here let me split the terminal and let's go to our folder of to do app backend, and inside that we will run our project npm run dev. And now you can see our server is running on port number 4000. If I go to our localhost 4000 slash API slash tasks, or we have we have created tasks, I think, or task. So let me check what we have created. So let's back to our backend, and here in the source folder in the routes task we have like slash tasks. Okay, and in the app.js we have API. So simply we will here type like localhost API slash tasks and just enter. You can see here this is one task which we have created during our backend. So you can see if you haven't seen this video, then you can watch our video which is the part one of this video. So before going with this video, what we have to do, you guys watch those videos, then come back to integrate together. So let's start integrating it. So let's go back to our home page. Okay, so to integrate this, I followed some method folder structures like here in the root folder we need to create folder called services, and inside the services I will create task services.ts, and here we will include our all the required methods for calling the APIs. Before that I am here including use server, so that this file will be only related to the server. And to integrate or call the APIs we need also to import. Okay, so let me run this. Let me stop our front end, and we need to import we need to install Axios. This help us to call the APIs in a proper manner. Let me run our server again. So it is running now. Let's go back to our localhost 3001 and refresh this page so that we can confirm that everything is working properly. Yeah, so everything is working properly. Now let's add methods here. So we need base URL to connect with our backend. So we need to add this in our .env of. So here in the frontend to do app, let's create .env.local environment, and here paste next public app API base URL and is equal to, we need to provide the backend URLs, this one. So let me copy this, and here we will paste 4000 slash API because this is the base URL. After that, let's go back to our task service page, and here we will create method. So let's first start working with the create task method. So for to call this method, we will create export const create task method, which takes task data and it contains title, which is of string, and color, which is of string. And this function simply retains, or simply first let me create const response and await axios dot post method. So this function create task method calls this post method, which we have created like base URL slash task, and here we are passing our data, and simply what if everything is good, then it will simply return task, simply return the response. If we have any error, then it causes problem, so we need to handle our error. So we will use try catch method, and inside the try we will pass our API fetching method or post method, and inside, and if we have any error, then simply we will console it and throw error. So our create task method is created. Also what we will do, if there is any error like response.data is not present, then simply we will throw a error called no data received from the server. Or what we will do, as we are creating the task, so error should be like meaningful, so fail to create will be better. And simply if there is any data, return the data. Now let's go back to our form, task form, and when when user click on create task method, then we will call our response. So const new task will be is equal to await create task, and this create task method will take title and color will be selected color. The user selects, and you can see here we are getting error because only allowed within the async function. So we need to make it async. So I have added async here. Now you can see the error is gone. Now if we don't have new task, then we will toast that fail to create and return. Else we will here show the pop-up called success task toast success, which is task is created successfully. And along with this, after creating the task, let me rename it new task. Okay, so after creating the task successfully, we will set title to be empty and color selected is empty. And also we will redirect back to our home page. Let me refresh this page. Okay, so we are getting error like use server. Okay, so we have spelling mistake. So let's go to back our task server and services, and here we will write server. Okay, so now it is done. All the error is fixed. Now let's go back to our task form, and suppose if I here enter this is demo task, and I select any color and click on create task, then we got a pop-up called create task successfully, and now after creating title is empty and color selection is also empty, so it is working properly. So after creation of our task, we need to redirect back to our home page. So for that we need to here use router. Router is equal to use router, and we need to import it this use router from next navigation, not from the next router, next navigation, and simply we will use it here. Here we will pass like router dot redirect, router dot replace with slash, and save it. Now let's create task another task and select any color and click on task create task. So after successful created, pop-up, we are redirected back to our home page. So it is working properly. Similarly, okay, so after creating this, let's fetch all the tasks which we have created on the home page. So now let's go back to our home page. So this is our home page, and here we will going to fetch all the tasks which we have created. So before that we need to create task service. So let's go to our task service, and here at the bottom we will create get all tasks service, and this will be of async. And in this method we will simply use the try catch again, try catch method. And if we have any error, simply console it and throw the error. And here we will use const response is equal to await axios dot get from all the tasks. And if we don't have, if we didn't get response from the response, then show the error that like fail to fetch task. And if we have data, then simply return the data. So this is the way we are going to fetch all the tasks. So let's go to our main page, and here we will create our use state to store the data. So simply what we will do, we will create use state, and here we will give name as all tasks, and this will be of array list of task props list. If not, we have null. Initially will be null, and if we have data, then it will be of a list of task props. Now we will use effect to fetch the data. But here at the right side, you can see we are getting error. This is because of we are using hooks, React hooks, and then we need to make this page as use client. Now you can see it is working properly. Let's continue what we are doing. So in the use effect, we will call our API. So for that, we will creating here const fetch tasks is equal to async method, and here we are again going to use try catch method. And in the errors we are going to throw an error, and in the try we will create like const response is equal to await get all tasks. So we are importing the get all task method from the task service, and if we have response, then simply we will set all tasks with the response. And now I will call here our fetch task method. Now simply to see whether it is working or not, I can console it out so that you guys can see. So let me inspect our page, and here you can see in the console tab, let me refresh it, reload it again. So now you can see in the console tab, you can see we have 3 tasks which we have created, like demo title, this is demo title, and another task. So it is working properly, we are able to fetch. Now what we have to do is we need to use this thing in our component. So here we need to replace this thing with our task. So how we can do? So simply what we have to do is here, if all we have all task and all task dot length is greater than 0, then what we will do, if length is greater than 0, then we will show the card. We will show our cards, and if the length is 0, then simply we will um, show the this dummy section. Okay, so currently you can see here it is disappear because we have three tasks which is more than 0. That's why. So if I want to show you, then I simply here type like we need to navigate. So 1 second. Yeah, so here what we will do, we will call all task dot map method, and from that we will take each task, and simply we will return h1 tag with task dot title. And if I save it, you can see our here we have the three tasks. Okay, so now we are going to style our card. So for that what we will do, we need to create a component called task card, and this task card will have the key which will be task.id, and along with that we need to pass our tasks. So task will be task, and set refresh tasks is equal to set refresh task. So we have to create this use state. So simply we will go here and we will create use state with which is called set refresh task, and this is the set refresh task. By default it will be false. Now here we are getting error because we haven't created our task card. So let's create this component. So let's go to our component folder, and inside this we will create task dot task card dot tsx okay. And here we will create our component by using shortcut RESTful, and this is our task card. Now let's go to our main page, and here we will import it. So you can see we have here there are three task card we can see because there are three tasks present in our database. So let's pass this task and the set refresh task to task card as a parameter. So here we will pass task and set refresh task, where here task will be of task props type which is coming from constant, and set refresh is a use state action. And simply if I pass the title and save, then you can see it is same as previous. Now let's start adding the style to it. So let me remove this thing, and here we will add some style to it. So like class name is, so class name here we will add transition color, and duration is 200, round is large, flex item center, justify between, and gap is of 5. So this is the style which is wrapped over the card. Let me give the gap is 4 and padding is 4. Now inside this div, here we will create another div which contain the class flex item center, and gap is of 3. And inside this we will create another div, and inside that we will write condition like task dot completed. Then we will show a div checkbox div. If not, we will show another checkbox div. So like here suppose task is completed, is 1, not completed 2. So you can see here everything is 2. So let's add here our checkbox. So here we will create another div, and inside this div we will add an icon called FA check from icons, React icons, and just simply import. Now after saving this, you can see we didn't see anything because task complete is false. So here when it is in the false condition, simply we will show a circle. So let's add class to it. So width is of 25 pixel, height is 25 pixel, and border is 2, and border color is secondary color, and cursor pointer rounded full. When I save it, we can see we have a circle with border which color is blue color. Now along with that we need to add like flex item center and justify center. So it is done. Now let's add style to our FA check, which is when task completed, then we need to add the style. So here the style for this is like width is same as compared to previous, means this style is same as here, but only difference is the color of BG. So here we give the background color is purple, and I will remove this color. So to show you whether it is working or not, let me go to our, okay, simply we can make this true, then you can see our checkbox. And here you can see, here we can see there is a white circle, so we don't need. So what we will do, we will simply remove the border, so we cannot see the white circle around the checkbox. So this is and also let's add style to our icon. So here icon color is text white. So let me show you again. If it is in true color, then the icon color is white, background color is purple. If it is false, then it is simply a circle with blue color. Now let's add link to this card. Before that, you can see we cannot see anything. It doesn't look like a card. So because we haven't applied style to it, so what we can do, we have to add some color to it. But before that, let's, after this div, here we will add a link icon which contain, which redirect to href, which redirects to task/task.id, edit tasks slash id, and inside this we will have a title. So title is task.title. After save, we can see here is our title, but it is going at the end, but it should be here at the beginning. So what we can do, we need to add some style to it, like like uh, text flex flex grow flex is 1. Now we can see it is at the beginning of the card, and we can make text wrap, and padding y is 4. Now also let's add some color to it. Before that, here is some condition we need to add. So if task not completed, then we will show line through, and opacity is 50%. And if it is not completed, then it's simply empty. So when I click on this, then there will be line through over this text or title. At the last, we need to create a delete method, like delete model. We will do it later, but currently it looks like this. And as we can see, we cannot see the background color of this card. For this, by default, we will add background color. Background color is light gray. Light gray. So now we can see the card background color, and it looks nice. But when we add, let me add opacity of 50%, and when we hover on this, then bg light will be of some 80%. So when we hover, we can see the hover effect on this card, and when we click on this, then it will be redirect to our edit page. So it is also working. Just now we need to add um, delete model and the other, and also we need to add functionality. So when we click on this, we need to update our task. So we have created our task card, but these are fixed style, like here we are providing the fixed or static background color, but we have choice to choose color. Like if user select any color from here and click on save, then here the color of the card should be changed or changed based on the color selected. So for that, what we can do is, like, we can create a state. Like here let's create use state, which is called is hovered, set is hovered, and by default it will be false. And let me make this use client, so that only we can use state hook. So after this, okay, so here we are getting like some issue. Let me refresh this page. Okay, everything is good. So after this we need to create a default color. So const base color is equal to task dot color. If there is task color, then that color will be base color. If not, we will simply provide the default color, which is 333 333. Yeah, so this is our default color. And after this, we also need to have the opacity, hover opacity. So const hover opacity, which will be by default is 70, and const background color will be dynamic, so based on hover. So if it is hovered, then the color of the base color is like base color with opacity. If not, there is no opacity, simply the base color. So in this way, and here we need to provide some opacity, which is 50, and this background color is defined to our parent div with the style, and in the parenthesis we will add here background color. So now you can see we have this hover effect and the color, but we can observe that here there is no hover effect. So why? Because here we have already defined the static one. So just remove this and save it again, and just simply refresh this page to see if there is any changes. So here we can see there is nothing happening with it, because we are not tracking our hover effects. So to track that, let's here add our on mouse event. So on mouse enter, then we need to set that is hover is true, and on mouse leave, then we will set it to false. So when I hover on this, then it is true. You can see there is an hover effect on each. So it is working properly. Now let's add functionality to toggle this task. So for that, what we will do, we need to create our task service. So let's go to our task service, and here we will export const update task, which will be is equal to async, and this task is updated based on id, task id. So task id is string, and task data which is task props. And simply this function uses catch and error, try and catch error. Here we will handle it. If we have any error, just console it or throw the error. And here we will write like const response await axios dot put. Here is a baseline slash task id, and we will pass data. And if we don't have any data or response back, then simply we will throw error, else we will return the response. So this is our task service. Next, let's go to our card, and here we will create function called const toggle completion, which is async function. And this function will do try and catch error handling. And simply if there is an error, it will console the error. And here we are okay. So here what we will do, if when the user clicks, so const, before this we need the id from the user. So const task id will be is equal to task dot id. Okay, and after getting the id, now we need to update. So const updated task is equal to await update task. So we are importing update task from our task service, and here we will pass our task id and the data. So in the data, we are passing just simply the completed, and this is, and we make it like push exclamatory mark task dot completed. So just we are toggling it, and here we can see there is an error, like here is showing it can be undefined. So simply add here at the end, add exclamatory mark, and here in the object this function is showing some error. Let me check. So updated task is declared, but its value is never used. Okay, so let's set the, so updated task if updated task does not provide any response, then simply throw an error that the fail to update the completion status. If not, we will show toaster toast dot success, and in the success we will show this message. I simply written already, so I will just copy and paste that message here. So here it will show like task, and if the length of the task title is more than 10, then it will shrink the title, and it shows like marked as completed or incompleted. So let me fix this error why we are getting. So let's go to our services and task service, and here just we need to partially use the task props. So now we can see here it is fixed. Let's use this toggle completion. So simply when we click on this button, which is this one. So when we click on this button, toggle completion is called. So copy here and also paste it here. So now it will be working. So when I click on this circle, then we get a pop-up. Okay, so we are getting an error. Okay, so we are getting here error, like this error is coming from our task service. So let's go to our task service. So it is an update task. So right click on this update task method. So inside the task service you can see here we are partially passing our task props, and when we go inside the task prop, then here you can see your title is mandatory. So what we will do, let's go back to our task card, and here we will add our title. So title is task.title, and simply we will pass it. So now we can see our error is gone. Let's try again if there is any issue. So simply click on here, and here we are, you can see everything is done properly. If I refresh this page, then you can see it is, we got our check mark like task is completed, but we are getting this issue as the length is undefined. So let's go here. So here in the updated task, we are getting updated task dot title. If I show you, let's check whether we are getting proper data. So let's console log the updated task, and let me check whether we are getting proper data or not. So here let's click on this card again, and when I am clicking on, you can see here we are getting our task, but it is inside the task we have the title. So to fix that issue, how we do, so here what we will write updated task, not here after the updated task we will add dot task, then we will use title slice, like task.title so now it will work. So let me refresh this page and let me remove this, and now when I click on this task, then you can see we got a pop-up and that the task is completed. But you can see here our home page is not refreshing, that's why. But if I refresh this page, then you can see it is done. But when I am clicking on the task, this card, then it is not updating simultaneously. So to fix that only, we have created set refresh task state, and here you can see we are passing boolean, but I need to use numbers. So you can also change here as a number. And let's go back to our task home page, that is our main page, and here also replace this with the 0 and give type as number. And now whenever, and here you can see we have passed our we have passed our set refresh task to our card here. So it is done. Now whenever we increment the refresh task value, then we need to re-render this use effect again. So for that, what we will do, we will pass our refresh task here, and along with that also we will pass set refresh task. So whenever these two data changes, then this use effect re-render once again. So let's go back to our task card, and here let's use this task refresh set refresh task inside our toggle button. So here we will add it. So at the end of this toaster, we will add like set refresh task, and we will use the previous value, and we will increment the previous value by 1. Now it is fixed. Now let's try. Let me first refresh this page, and after that let's click on this icon. So when I click on this icon, you can see we got our toast message like task another is marked as incomplete, and you can see it is changed here. So it is working properly. Okay, so we are done with our task card, and now it is working properly. Now let's start working with our edit functionality. So when we click on this task, let me uncheck this, and when we click on this task, it will redirect to our edit task page, and you can see here we have some dummy data, but we need to fix it. So let's go back to our edit page. Okay, so now we are on edit task page. Now let's start working with it. So how we can fetch the particular task? So it is based on the task id which we are passing here. So to get this id, we use param hook which is in React. So let me create a variable called params and use params, and this is we need to import from next navigation, and from the params we will get our task id which is params dot task id, and it is of string types. So here the task id should be this name is same as the name which we have here in the app route. Like when we go to our main folder and inside the edit task, you can see we are given name called task id. So same name should be given here. If we give here like id, then it should be here id. Okay, so let's move further. So after getting id, what we need to do, we need to fetch our data. So we need to fetching data, we use effect, and in this function we will create fetch task by id, and this will be asynchronous function, and here we will use catch and try and catch error block, and simply we will console log the error if we have any error. If we don't have error, then here we will fetch our response. So here we will use const response equal to await get task by id. So this is the task by id which I have created already. So let me show you how it is there. So when we go to our task service, we need to write this code. So I was testing some issues, so I have written it before only. So you can stop this video and copy this thing. It is simply what we are doing is like we are using axio.get method to get the task by id, and simply if we don't have any data then show error. If not, we are returning the data. That's it. And also this function taking a task id as a parameter which is of string type. That's what we have done. So let's go back to our page and task page, and here you can see we need to pass our task id. So here simply write task id, and so after fetching the data we need to store the data in somewhere. So for that we will here create use state method, and let's call it as task data, and here the data is like use state. We need to import the use state, and as we are using the use params or the use state hook, we need to make this component as a use client component, and now save it. So you can see our error is gone. And after this here, one second, let me refresh this page again. Okay, so now what we will do, okay, so here we have called our get task by id. So we are getting some response from it. So we need to store that data in our task data. So let me rename this to set task data, and inside that we will store our response. And now now after completion of this function, simply call this fetch task by id method. So fetch task by id method, here we will call it, and this is always re-render based on the task id. So here we will pass task id, and here you can see we are getting issues. So here what we will pass, so as our task content title, color and the other things, so here we will call task, and this task will will be of the type which we have already created, task props. This task prop is coming from our constant, lib constant, which we have already created. And now what we will do, we will pass this task data to our initial data, and this task data is of dot task. Now let me refresh this page again, and here we are getting it is not undefined. It is because it is whenever we visit this page, at the same moment it is fetching the data. So to stop that, use the loading state. So we let's create another state called loading, which will be by default it will be true. So while loading, if while fetching the data, it should show the loading screen, so there will be no error. So here let's create our let timeout and it will be of type node.js dot timeout. And what we will do, simply we will do is like when everything is done, then at the finally we will set loading to be false. And before setting the loading false, we will set some timeout, so that like it will wait for 2 to 3 seconds, and then we will redirect our page. So here use the timeout, and this function inside this method we will call our loading is false, and this takes up to 5 milliseconds, and simply here we will show loading. So while loading, let me show some loading things. Like here we will show like task is loading as a message. Now if I refresh this page, then you can see we are getting message like task loading, then we are getting this form. So now you can see there is no issue in the no issue, and we are not getting any error, so it is working good. Now here when we click on this color, if I select any color and if I click on save, then we are getting like task is saved. Let me check, let me go back and let's check whether the this title called another task color is yellow or not. So you can see it is not updated. So let's check why it happening. So let's go to our task form, and inside the task form you can see here we haven't provided any logic to update our data. So let's add some logic to it. So let me go back to our here edit task, and let me change the other color, or we can change the title, anything. And let's work with this logic part. So simply I will remove this thing, and here inside this I will create const task updated task is equal to await. And we have already created a service method called update task, so we will use this. So simply we will go to our form, and here we will call that method, so update task. And initially it will have, we will get the id from your initial data, so initial data colon id, and inside that we will pass our data like title and color selected. These two are mandatory, so we are passing these two. And here we are getting like error undefined, so it is of type string. So now it is now error is gone, and I think everything is good. Here we will check if the task updated task is not present, then simply show an error message like update fail to update the task. If not, what we will do, we will show that success message, and also we will redirect to our home page, and we will remove all the data from our title and the color. So here is the here is the state set state which we have defined as null or empty. Now let me save this and refresh this page again, and let's try to edit. So here I will add 1 2 3, and let me select red color, or we can go with this color, and click on save. So after save, it is redirect back to our home page, and you can see our task title is changed and background color is also changed. So everything is working properly. Let me click on here and let's check whether it is working or not. So you can see it is working properly, and we are done with our edit task also. Let me go back to our edit task, and let me remove this. And if I don't want any color, simply I deselect this color and click on save, and we redirect back to our home page, and you can see it is working properly. So now let's start working with our other task. Like you can see here, it is not updated, like task is 2 and completed, so these are not updated, these are still static. So let me fix that. So let's go to our home page, that is our main page. So now we are on the main page, and you can see here we have count, and these values are static. So let's fix this. So to fix it, before that, let me fix this task. Let me remove the null value and make it empty bracket, because we are going to count our data, and if it is null, then we cannot count, we cannot use our length method. So simply what we will do here in the count, we will call our all task dot length, and we will mark it as string, or as string is not working, so we will use toString method. So now you can see here we got our count as 3. Now similarly we will fix our completed count. So here what we will do, we will pass it as a template. So it has two things. First one is, first we will do filtering out which is completed and which is not completed. Suppose if I deselect this and also this one, so you can see here out of 3, 1 is completed, so we need to filter it out. So for that, what we will do, here we will call, call all task dot filters, and from that we will take each task, and we will check whether task dot completed or not. If it is completed, so based on those we will get all the tasks which are completed, and we will count that length. So here you can see we have 3 tasks, out of that only 1 is completed, so length will be 1. So here it will give an array of length 1, and here after this we will write off and total number of tasks. So simply what we will do, all task dot length, and we will make it as, okay, so it is already in string, so we don't need, let's save it. And you can see here is 1 of 3. Suppose if this task is completed, then you can see it is updated here, and if this task is also completed, then you can see it is updated. So it is working properly. Let me deselect, and you can see it is now 2 of 3. So it is working properly. Let's continue with our delete functionality, because we have completed our create function. Like when we click on create button, it redirect to our create, and here if simply write demo 1, and if I color select any color called green and click on create, you can see our task is created. And if this task is done, then we can simply click on here, and you can see it is marked as complete, and you can see here also updated. So we have done with create, edit, and update. Now only left is delete. So let's start doing that. Okay, so let's start creating our delete component. So what we will do first, let's go to our task card, and here at the bottom you can see I have commented already. So let's remove this, and here we will create a component called confirmation model, and this component will take task id, which is from our task.id, and this is an optional, so we need to keep it optional. And here we will set refresh task, which will be set refresh task. Okay, so these two parameter is required. So let's create this component. So let's go to our component folder, and here inside the component folder create a file with confirmation model .tsx, and here rafc, and 1 second, so rafce, and create this component, and simply go back to our task card, and we will import our confirmation component. Okay, so this component takes two parameters, that is our task id and set refresh task, and these two will be of type. First, task id is of type of string, and set refresh task is of number set state action. Now let's do styling for our model. So in the model, what we will do, like when we click on this confirmation model, then one model will appear, and that model will ask whether we should compulsory delete or not. Because when we click on confirm deletion, then it will be deleted permanently from our database. So let's create it. So let me remove this, and inside this div there will be a button called ri delete bin, which is 6 filled. So let's save it, and you can see this is our icon. Let's add styling to it. So class name, text size is excel, cursor is pointer, and opacity is 50%, and on hover opacity will be 100%. You can see here, when I hover on this, opacity becomes 100%. And apart from that, other styles like transition all, and duration is 200 or 300%. And along with that, we have more styles like okay, so that's it. After this after this icon, we will add, let me wrap the text, and after this icon we will have model. So we will create a div with a style, with a class name, which is insert is 0, background is primary with opacity of 20%, and also okay, till here let me save, and you can see this is the background. Let me add some blur. So background drop blur is of medium, or we can provide the custom, that is like 2 pixel. So this our background is blurred now. Now inside this div, also let's make this div at the top, so z index is 50, so it will be always top. So now you can see it is always top. So when we click on anything, nothing will happen. Now inside this div we will create another div which contains the class name is flex item center, justify center and height is full. And inside this div we will create another div which contain class name with background color is primary, padding from all side is 4, rounded is medium, and width is of min 90%, and on the on the and the maximum is px, that is 500 pixel. You can see here our box appears here, and also we will add some border, and border color will be light gray color. So you can see our border appears here. Now inside this box we will add another div or h2 which contain title called delete task. And let me reduce the opacity of border to 80%. So now it is good. And let's add style to our title. So here text size will be XL, font is semi bold, and text is white with opacity 70%. And below this h2 tag we will create a paragraph tag, and it contains some text. Let me copy it here and paste it. So this text will appear. Let's add some style to it. So text is white with 50% opacity, and margin top is of 5. So now you can see it is looking good. And after this paragraph tag we will add one more paragraph tag, and this tag will contain another content, and it has style warning style. So here we'll add text rate of 500, or let's add 400, and background red which is of 900 with opacity 20, and here padding from all side is 2, and rounded is medium, and margin top 7. Let's save it. Now you can see here is a warning message which makes sure that here warning is like this action is not reversible, please be certain. Okay, so after this paragraph tag we will add one div, and in that div we will have a label which contain like delete confirmation. Label is same as the html for. So here we will add like to verify type, and in the span tag we will add delete, and you can see it appears here. Let's add some style to this div before we move further. So here is a class name is flex column, and justify end, and also we will add margin top is 6. Okay, so now it is looking good. For the quotes, let add here single quote, and also here. So now it is working properly. Or let's what we will do, let me remove this quote and also this quote. Instead of this, what we will do, after delete we will write below. So complete sentence is like to verify type delete below. And let's add some style here for this text. So simply we will make this color white with 70% opacity. Now it is looking good to eye. Now below this label and also let's add some style to our delete. So font weight will be of semi bold. So now it look good. So below this label we will create input field, and this field will be of type text, and this contain some style like class name is border, and border color is light gray with opacity of 20, and its bg is light gray. Bg is equal to light gray with opacity of 20, and here border is opacity of 30, and we add the padding from all side 2 and margin top is 3, rounded medium. So that's it. And also we need to add style to our text. So after adding the margin top 3 and rounded medium, let's add color to our text. So white, text is white with opacity 50 and outline is none, and on focus, and when we focus on it, then border will be light gray color. So when we focus on this text or the text field, then the border will be little bit brighter than before. So it is working properly. Let's add some placeholder here. So placeholder is like type delete to confirm, and here value will be is equal to delete confirmation. And let's create use state for this. So here above we will create const delete confirmation, and at the beginning it will be empty state. Let's here add on change event, that is here we will set the e dot target value here. So now it's done. Let's add more style here. So after this input field we will add a div, and inside div we will add a button. So this button will be containing cancel button, and one more button which will help us to confirm or delete tasks. So we have created here two button. Let's add some style to it. So here for the div we will add some style called flex justify between, and margin top is 4, and save it. So now you can see now both the buttons are in between, there is some space. Okay, now let's add some style to our button. So here add the class name, and background is light gray with opacity 20, border light gray with opacity 30, and on hover background color is light gray. So you can see here it is working properly. Let's reduce the opacity here. So on hover opacity is 50. So here we are increasing. Before it will be 30, and after on hover it is 50. And now we will add some transition color. Duration is 300 milliseconds, and text is white color with opacity 50, and horizontal padding is 4 and vertical is 2, and rounded is medium, and margin left is 2. So now you can see it is working properly. We don't need margin left, so remove it. And similarly we will add style to our delete button. So for this bg is red which is 500, text is white. So here text is white, px4 py2 py2, and rounded md. Margin, we don't need any margin. And here let's add cursor pointer. And so you can see it is working properly. Let's add cursor to our cancel also. So here we will add cursor is pointer, and let's reduce the opacity here. Let be opacity is 30, and on hover bg red opacity is 50. Now it looks good. So model is created successfully. Now what we will do, let's add functional to it. So when we click on cancel, it should disappear, and when we click on delete, it should delete our task. So for that what we will do, Here at the top we will create is model open or not. So let's create state called is open, and by default it will be false. And here let's add the type boolean, and let me import it, and let me remove this react dot. Okay, so now it is working properly, and you can see our model is here. Now what we will do, we will select this complete div and wrap it in the is open. So when is open is true only, then it should show our model, other than it should be hidden. So now here you can see it is hidden. Now to show this model, when we click on this icon, so let add here for this icon, let add on click method, and when user click on this model, then set is model open is equal to true. So now let's test it. So when I click on delete, you can see this model is appearing. And now what we have to do is when user click on cancel, then it should be disappear. So let's go to our cancel, and here on click, the model should be set is open equal to false. So when I click on this icon, it will be disappear. So you can see it is working properly. Now let's add delete functionality. So for that, here we will add like on click handle delete task. Okay, and we will call this method here, or create this method handle delete task, which will be asynchronous method. And okay, so everything is working properly. Now what we will do, here we will create delete task service. So let's go to our service, and here at the bottom we will export const delete tasks asynchronous by id, and here is the response. We use axios.delete, and we will pass base url task id, and here we are passing the task id. And after this, if we don't have data, then return throw an error. If not, simply give the response. So everything is done here, and let me check whether everything is good or not. So yeah, so as you know that when we delete a data, then we will not get any response. So what we will do here we will check if response dot status is not equal to 204, then we will show an error like we are failed to delete the task. If not, we will simply return the data. Okay, now let's go back to our confirmation model page, and here we are getting error like handle delete. Okay, so name is different, so let's rename it. Now it is fixed. Now here we will add our logic. So first, before deletion of this task, what we will do, we will check whether, so let me click on this icon, and you can see here, if user type here delete and click on delete method, then only it should be deleted. Instead of this, what it is here written, instead of that, if user type anything, then it should not work. So for that, what we will do here we will check delete if delete confirmation is not equal to delete, then we will simply show a toaster error message that please enter or please type delete to confirm. And if user type properly, then we will here call our delete method. Simply here console log if we have any error. If not, here we will call our delete method. So await delete task, import it from our task service, and here we will pass our task id. And if everything is good, then we will show toast message success message, that is task is deleted successfully. And we will what we will do, we will remove the model, So we will hide it by is open is equal to false, and we will refresh. Also we will refresh our home page task. So set refresh task, and we will here increasing our previous value. Now let me save it and let me refresh this page. Now after this, so when I click on this delete button, this model appears. Here if I type other than delete and try to delete, click on delete, then we get pop-up like please type delete to delete. So let me copy this and let me paste here. Now if I click on delete, then it will be deleted. You can see our task is deleted. Let me show you again. So I am selecting another task, and here I am pasting delete and click on delete. You can see our task is deleted. So it is working properly. So now I think we have completed our all the tasks which are required to create a to-do app. And you can also see here when I delete the task, like suppose if I delete this task, then here our count is also changing and task is also changing. So everything is working properly. So it's done. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have learned something new. So in this video and or in this tutorial, we have learned like how to create a to do app, full stack to do app with connecting with our MySQL and using Prisma to use MySQL as a database. So we are not directly using MySQL queries to perform this operation. We are using Prisma as a intermediate, which help us to interact with our MySQL database by using objects. So that's it. And let me show you again. So here when we click on create task and we direct to our create task, here we will type anything like I please please do like and share and comment, and also subscribe to my channel. And simply if I love to select purple and click on create task, then you can see here our task is created. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like and comment on this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And I will be creating this type of video again and again, so please subscribe to my channel, and thank you. Bye.